Hello and good evening. Very warm welcome to you all in the 10th batch of Executive Development Program by Committee for Members in Industry and Business of ICAI. My sincere gratitude to ICAI President and all leaders for this encouragement and support. Today, this is another day with Committee of Members in Industry and Business, which started this initiative in the month of April, and today we are on to the last batch of the series. With me present here is our three out of four speakers. We will start today with Radhika, and then session by Harsh, followed by Pulkit and Jaideep, who will be our last speaker of the day. And Committee Secretary Mr. G. Ranganathan is also present. Thank you for your very positive feedback and your positive encouragement has brought us so far. I request all the members who are present sessions, as recordings will not be available for a few days, considering the code of conduct. So please participate live and also encourage your friends to take benefit from these sessions. And our speakers may ask you some questions and request all who are present here to be responsive to them. And always, whenever you wish to ask any question, please put on, and depending upon the availability of time, we will put those questions across to our speakers. So let us start with our first session, and before that, please allow me to introduce our first speaker, CEO Radhika Zinzovadia, who is based out of Bahrain. Radhika is a seasoned finance enthusiast, and she is a chartered accountant from our institute and a self-motivated Toastmaster by passion. She loves public speaking, and that has encouraged her to carry out her journey in improving her leadership and communication skills through Toastmasters. She believes in spreading an aura of positivity to encourage people to be better versions of themselves in their personal as well as professional advancements. Radhika is currently working for Key Point Consulting in Bahrain and engaged in the consulting activities. And she is also serving as an executive committee member of our chapter in Bahrain. Radhika had earlier contributed in this series as one of the team player in the debate showcase we did, and she has been a great volunteer and supporter of ICI activities in the region. So Radhika, thank you so much for taking out time and being here and choosing very interesting topic, which will definitely help our young members. Those today we have members who have passed out in the last 5 years. So we have members who may be having experience of just 7 months and who has experience of 5 years. But I'm sure that what you will be sharing will make a great difference to them. And with this, I request all our members present here to please give a big virtual round of applause. And Radhika, the screen is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, CA Prabdeep, for the warm introduction and such kind words. It's an honor and pleasure for me to be here and be one of the speakers of the day, and to present myself amongst the newly qualified chartered accountants. I express my gratitude to the ICAI, the Central Council, and the members who have recommended and supported me for this. It's definitely very encouraging. It's not just imparting learning, as well as it's a learning process for me as well. And my topic for the day is professional success. It is a trilogy of leadership, upskilling, and networking. So I believe that we as chartered accountants we have already achieved a milestone of success by clearing, or rather being a part of the Chartered Accountancy Club. How was the reaction when you actually first realized that you have cleared your exam? Maybe it could be like 2 years down the line, or before 5 years, or just a year ago. Well, for me, I still remember that day. I didn't know what to do. I was left surprised, or rather shocked. Like, actually, my results were checked by so many people because I was not sure if, oh my God, have I actually cleared that? But definitely, it was a moment of pride that I felt that yes, this is one of the successful ventures which I was craving for, and I got the desired satisfaction from that. So I believe, like one you all, this one milestone has already been achieved of professional success by clearing the Chartered Accountancy course. Congratulations to all of you. And I welcome you all to the club, this prestigious club of Chartered Accountancy, which is not just in India, but rather all across the globe. And it gives me an immense pleasure to meet so many of my co-members from across the globe in the Middle East and the North Africa region, and from India as well. Wherever I go, I feel like a family as I can connect to my members. Now, that is what it gives, that is what this profession does, right? Now, everyone might be thinking that what is so big about this CA course, right? Rather, whenever I meet anybody else, everyone's like, oh my God, you're a CA? So now, having achieved this, I feel like, okay, fine, it's a CA course. Because I believe in the concept that once you have not done something, or rather when something is new to you, you feel like, oh my God, that's a big thing. I don't know whether I'm going to do it or not. So until you have found a diamond, you're always curious that, oh my God, where is it? How would it be? But then once you actually get it, you're like, okay, man, that was easy, right? That wasn't a tough nut to crack. The same way, I would say the journey of CAs is also something similar to that. And now, why am I speaking about all this? Definitely, we have had plethora of technical knowledge during our studies, and that has made us tough operational people who can make our organization succeed, right? At one point of time, we would be the people who can carry our profession, rather our organizations, to a different level. We are the people who are going to lead the profession, who are going to lead the organizations. When I had just passed out, I never realized that this is going to be a big responsibility. Rather, I was excited. At the same time, I'm humble and responsible and even nervous as well. Like, oh my God, how am I going to take up this role? But that's when I learned from my seniors that it's about learning some non-technical skills. Rather, as we are experts in our operational skills, like we all are in some or the other finance roles, it could be either operations, it could be either into the core accounting and auditing, or it could be even on the investment side, or on the derivative side as well. But I believe that doing work is much easier than getting work done. Who would get the work done? Right now, if I join any organization as a consultant or into any operational role, I know that what work is to be done. It takes a day or two just to learn the skills. But then what is more important is how do you actually get the work done in a seamless manner? That's where I believe that the leadership skills is so important in your life. That's where you can actually make a difference in an organization. So that's how I'm going to connect to you all to my topic, that how is professional success a combination of leadership, upskilling, and networking. I would be sharing my screen. Yes, I hope everybody can see my screen.
Yes, Radhika. Perfect.
I don't believe in large PPTs, so I prefer keeping things very compact so that I don't bore you with so many of my PowerPoint slides. Now, coming to the basic skill of leadership, right? Now, I think we have been learning about leadership since very long. I have done that in my orientation training, in my GMCS. Little did I understand at that point of time that how important would it be? What is it? Do you actually be a leader when you reach reach the position of a company being a CEO or a CFO or the managing director just? Is that what you call leadership? Well, I don't think so. I have realized that today I want to be a leader. I want to be in that position where I can actually have the art of managing people, not just like getting the work done. Somebody has rightly said that if you want to build a ship, do not ask the people to get the wood or make space for them to rent a place. Rather, make them dream of a large sea where a beautiful ship can be there. Make them visualize what they are actually going to do. You would have always seen that meme, right? The difference between a boss and a leader. Yeah. A leader is somebody who always supports you. It's more of an integral quality which somebody learns or acquires. I think in during our peak hours where we are under a lot of pressure, especially we are the people who are dealing with money, so there's a lot of responsibility on us. So at that point of time, in immense pressure, how do you get work done from your team members? You need to have so much of patience. You need to be calm. You need to understand. You need to put yourself into the other person's shoes. Can you do that? That requires a lot of practice because you tend to lose temper. You tend to start yelling at the other person. Do you think that's going to continue? And do you think that person is actually going to listen to you? I don't think so. Being a leader is not about getting work done. Rather, it's about producing more leaders. You need to pursue the power to empower others. Now, I'm sure you all would be like, so how do we do that? It's definitely not a one-day thing, or it cannot be learned by reading books or something. It's all about practice. You need to believe in what you do. Right? Next, if you think it's about like you need to do your practical implication on it, on what basis do you practice? There are so many amazing people whom I follow. One of them, for example, John Maxwell, he has given amazing laws of leadership. Definitely, it's worth reading such motivating books, which will actually make you believe that how do you pursue this particular skill set. Some of the inherent skills which you need to actually acquire or which you need to develop at workplace or in your personal life is about you need to be crystal clear with what you want. Your objective should be very clear. There should be utter honesty and integrity in the work you do. With that clean mindset, definitely you can make the person believe in you. Once a person believes into you, they would actually feel like doing like what you say. It's not only about getting work done. Rather, I have experienced in my professional life that my seniors, they always, with every work I deliver to them, I always get a positive feedback saying that, okay, if I have submitted a report of financial statements, and if something is not good, I always get a feedback of going back and referring to the books of IFRS or referring to a particular standard. So that's always a learning. So you deliver your work and you take back something. So as a leader, it's more about giving. You need to lead yourself first and then you can advise others. So when there is a give and take contribution, definitely you can achieve, or rather you can gain a lot of experience. So I believe it's self-learning, self-leadership. That's what makes you a very good leader. That's how we can understand we can understand how people feel. Obviously, if like many people say that, if it's a strict boss, you get trained very well under that person. That could be true as well. That's another style of leadership. But you need to follow that what works best for you. Right? I believe that a leader is someone who can actually motivate their people. Now, what is about motivation? I keep experimenting that how can I make, if I imagine myself as a CFO of a company or as a managing director, I always feel that why do people leave the organization? What is that thing through which I can motivate them? I cannot force anybody to work with me for a lifetime, or I cannot threaten them. Nobody has that power. But what is that thing that can motivate the people? Well, I think I read about these three P's of motivation. That is the concept which I believe in. Number one, you need to make them understand what is the purpose of them being there. What is the purpose of the person who is working with you, who is working in your organization? If they actually feel that what they have to do, there is a sense of satisfaction that they would get. If you're working in an investment company and a company is given just for research to the junior consultant, he's definitely going to just bring in numbers if he doesn't know that what impact it is going to make. But rather, if you make him understand that our client is going to earn crores and lakhs through this particular investment, if he puts in 100, he's going to get 1,000 in a particular span of time. And our fees is going to be some percentage of it. He would understand that what an impact he's going to make into that organization. He would understand that how this is going to interest him. So that's what I believe, that the purpose of the task is to be understood. It is the leader's duty to make the person understand very well. We definitely have so many inductions where employees are told what to do. It's very easy to work on Excels and PPTs and just deliver your results without actually knowing what you're actually producing. But will that person grow far? I don't think so. I believe that these are the inherent skills of self-actualization or the self-satisfaction which you can make people understand. And this requires, again, like I would say, it requires a lot of influence, a lot of practice, that you actually make people believe in you so that you can influence them. The next is, another P is about explain people about how people work in a team. It is always said that if your team is successful, you would succeed. In my childhood, I have heard this quote like, united we win, divided we fall. We all would have heard that story as well, right? So, if a person understands that he can contribute in a team, he can achieve miles and miles of success. Because we might have seen in many organizations that, you differentiate personal goal and professional goal. So you always tend to fulfill your own objective. Like, okay, I need to tell my superior that I have done this work. Not rather my department has done or my organization has achieved this. It gets like that gets subdued, and your personal objectives, when it overcomes that, there is no team effort. It's always me, and me. And that's where you see your objective first and the company's objective later. If a task is given of earning a particular amount of revenue, the company should work as a whole. It's very important that you inculcate the skill of team building, or at least working in a team. There would be so many conflicts also. Like if you're at a leadership role, there would be your subordinates who are actually suggesting you ideas, which does not make sense to you, but you cannot shoo them away. Can you do that? No, it's impossible. Nobody's going to listen to you. You need to be that open-minded person who accepts ideas, but still be firm enough to know what is right. You need to have that ability to understand so many viewpoints and implement the right one. So that needs you to give that quick decision making power, that you evaluate all the outcomes and then you choose the best one from that. Now also that it's very difficult to do that because some people might take it personally. They may feel that, okay, my idea is not being accepted. It's always me who's being rejected. So there's always a subtle way of conveying your decision, that why you're not choosing one idea and why you're choosing the other idea. And you need to influence or you need to convince people to work in the direction through which organization's objective is achieved. Next one is obviously pay. Everybody works for money. There is a large objective which needs to be fulfilled. Is if I have two offer letters, one of the primary concerns is, where do I see a bigger amount? So that is another third thing which motivates people. You work on a paycheck. Definitely your materialistic wish of going on a vacation on a beautiful island or flying to a different country or getting your dream home, it's all going to be fulfilled through this paycheck. So this is one of the most influencing factors. So it's always up to you that what works the best for you as a leader, right? It's very easy to motivate people through paychecks. Like if you need a new employee, you can definitely offer him a paycheck better than the industry. But also you need to see that, are you able to sustain him in your organization for long? For how long can you help a person just live on money? If the person is not satisfied, he's going to go away. He will not sustain in an organization. So that's how I believe that the three things, purpose, people, and pay, are the three sources of motivation for employees. That's what leaders should look for. This can be set as the objective, that how can you make people work for you? How can you delegate the task and get it done at the earliest? Now, as a leader, now we have qualified as chartered accountants. I'm sure we all must be like so happy, like, okay, now we are the most educated people. We don't need to do now, we always dream of being on that one recliner leather chair with so many people around us, and we just have to like order and we'll have to just sign documents and that's it, the work is done. But I'm sure you all know by now that that's just a fancy thing which people dream about. That's not the reality, right? We need to keep learning throughout our journey being professionals. It's about just taking few technical or your soft skill sessions. You just learn online. It does not necessarily have to be like a proper course where you spend weeks or months on that. Maybe you could just browse through videos which can help you gain some ideas about how can you be better at something. You can actually introspect that if I am at this position, what am I lacking? What is that one thing that will help me? Is it that I'm not able to speak up or I'm not able to convince my fellow mates because I do not have sufficient technical knowledge? Is it that if I'm into the field of financial reporting, am I strong? Is my base strong with the accounting standards or the relevant local standards of that country? If not, you can always go take up a relevant course and educate yourself. That would give you immense amount of confidence, through which you can achieve greater and greater success. Now, again, there are so many like our institute itself issues journals. There are monthly ICAI journals. There are different journals which are published by different newspapers like the Mint, the other Business Journal, Business Insiders, or any such newsletters which interests you. I believe it should be a habit that you read each of them. I'm sorry, not each of them. It's not possible. My bad. You need to practice reading at least one in every day. Each day you need to motivate yourself to gain insights of the what is happening in the world in day-to-day affairs, what is related to your field, what is the technical knowledge that you need to be thorough about, or what are the ideas that you need to gain. So it's always an ongoing process where you need to take up like different courses, and always, and definitely if you think about working, if you are in the employment sector, then definitely these certificate courses would give you monetary benefits as well. Your promotions or your raises would can definitely be based, or rather it can improvise if you have the understanding of that. Definitely just a certificate is not enough. You need to understand it, you need to learn it. And being on the industry, that is the business side, it's all on you. So definitely you need to be thorough, and you need to be super efficient in convincing your clients, or rather poaching the clients as well. For that, that's where the soft skills is very important, where you need to win people over their hearts. And I'm sure any any way of motivation is more, no way of motivation is more powerful than words. If you win a person by heart, then there are very less chances that you lose a client or you lose a person very easily. Now, apart from that, we all are using so many social medias, and we meet so many people and throughout the day. But like, if you are sitting in an office, you call your clients a million times. There are such people whom you haven't met face to face, but it's always maybe you call them for getting some data, or you call them for meetings, and especially during current scenarios, you call them for Zoom meetings, or you meet them online. Always, I'm sure it's more of work related, like, okay, I got this stuff. Do you have the required material which I want? Is there anything else that we actually talk? Because after the work is done, after we leave the organization, we forget those people. The time spent in meetings and all that, it's we are not carrying it forward. Even we have like so many 500 plus LinkedIn connections always. But do we actually only communicate with them? Or do we actually build a connect? I believe that it's very important that you actually network very well in your professional journey. I would be focusing more on the professional journey. Obviously, this is important in your personal life as well, but your professional network can be widened in a large scale if you actually meet people and you exchange ideas. That helps you meet people with common ideas, which also helps you to get the new prospective opportunity in your business, or you get to learn something which you are really interested about. Like if you network in your industry with some people who are interested in crypto, you will get different avenues to put your money in. You can learn so much out of that, and that person will also remember you. You can always go back to them in case of need or help. But rather, if you just talk to people only for the sake of finishing your work, or for the sake of delivering your results, that's not going to last long. So you need to join various, maybe you can join various organizations if your time permit, or rather in your work life itself, you can connect with people by having a personal touch as well. That's going to help a lot. I'm sure that this is what I have experienced in my until my work life. I have continued and learned all these things. So I hope that this session has helped you in building in improvising your professional journey through the combination of leadership, reskilling and upskilling, and networking. With this, I would conclude and I would hand back the control back to CA Prabdeep ji.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Radhika. I would now invite Mr. Ranganathanji to please propose a vote of thanks to you.
Yeah, thank you. Am I audible? Mr. Pradeep, am I audible?
Yes, just one. Yes, Ranganathanji, please continue.
Yeah. Ma'am, a very wonderful session. In fact, the topic itself shows that how one can succeed professionally. Leadership is required, of course, and then upskilling oneself from time to time, and also networking. You also brought out the very touching thing was that how a leader differentiates himself from a boss, and you gave very important trait of a leader, that is motivation. And then how one motivates, you are very correctly explained. You also explained that one needs to upskill, and then how one can do that by acquiring technical skills, joining various courses. I say also does a lot of courses. Then networking, of course, networking with one mentors, seniors, peers. All these are very, very important to become professionally very successful. Thank you so very much. A short session, but very, very effective one. Thank you so much, C.A. Radhika ji. Grateful to you.
Yeah, many thanks, Radhika. Now we move on to our second session, which will be by CA Pulkit Mehra, who is based in Ras Al Khaimah, UAE. Pulkit is a chartered accountant by profession, a member of our institute, and he also completed bachelor's degree in commerce honors from Delhi University. He is currently handling corporate finance and treasury at Rack Ceramics PSC, which is world's largest ceramic manufacturer. Pulkit is a certified memory trainer, training in the fields of memory, mind map and brain power, Rubik's Cube, and finance and soft skills. He has taken numerous seminars in top colleges and schools in India and abroad, which includes IIT, IIM, etc., mentoring students on how to study effectively using the world's best techniques. He is certified in mind mapping by Tony Buzan, inventor of mind maps, certified trainer of musical windows, a memorization system from the inventor himself, certified in speed reading, creativity and innovation through techniques of Tony Buzan, world's top 5 speakers as sourced from Forbes. He is also the founding executive member of our chapter in Ras Al Khaimah, and he is currently serving as one of the executive members of the chapter. Thank you so much, Pulkit, for being here, and you being another young member here to inspire our young members who have qualified in the last 5 years. There was some disturbance, so I had to unmute you that time. So now you are. There's some sound coming, Pulkit, from behind.
1 second. Is it better now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah. Are you getting any disturbance from my end?
Yes, slightly. Now it's better, I think. Now it's
better. Okay. I have just uplifted my laptop, and I hope it's better now. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So thank you for being here. Thank you for all you do for ICAI and Inspire Young Members. Your profile is very interesting. So different things you have done, and I always see you encouraging everyone. So we are really looking forward to your session on mind mapping, though it is a short 25 minutes session.
Yeah.
And one-sided, but I'm sure you will be able to make a big difference. So over to you. I request all our members to please give a big virtual round of applause to Pulkit. Thanks, Pulkit.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Pradeep ji. And it's my pleasure to give my views on a topic which is very less known to most of us, I'm surely, in this meeting today. So as C. Radhika earlier mentioned, we need to upskill our life. We need to do new, we need to
Looks like there's some disturbance. Pulkit, are you here?
A topic wherein all the CAs, all the young CAs, I would amend my line, all the young CAs can upskill and learn a new skill. So it's always good. We always hear this word leadership, upskill, and networking from our previous session. So I'm going to take a very short time of yours, and I'm sure you will love this session. So I'm sure I'm going to share my screen, and thank you so much, CA Pradeep ji, for giving me this opportunity and reading my brief profile. So picking up from my brief profile, I will show you how we can change our lives and how we can learn a new skill and adopt in our life. And I'm going to show you some examples of how people have benefited from this skill and why you should definitely learn this skill. So let's move on to the presentation. I'll just share my screen. Yeah. So I hope you can see my first slide. This is the introduction which was read by CA Pradeep ji a while ago. Now, if I want to introduce myself, my introduction is already done. But if I want to introduce you in a more creative way, I have the next slide. So Pradeep ji read all this, which is my little bit accomplishments apart from CA. So we all have recently qualified. So we all know a lot of tax, we all know audit, we all know all other subjects, and wherein we are working, either you must be in practice or you must be in your job or doing something else. You must be in a startup or you could be doing anything in life. I'm sure whatever you're doing, this skill will help you. So moving on to the next slide, I'll just again give a brief introduction about myself in a very short time. So I am a CA and I am from India. So this presentation I usually use to give in many other countries. So I need to tell my background. And regarding my family, I have my father who's working in a company called Tops in India. My mother is in LIC. My brother is a chef in Canada and he's planning to open his new restaurant there. Apart from this, professionally, I am a chartered accountant. And in India, I did my articleship and I'm currently working in Rack Ceramics in a corporate finance division in a treasury role. So I'm sure you all must be able to relate what I do. So apart from this is my CA thing. Going apart from the CA thing, in the sports, I like to do swimming. I like to learn a new skill. I learned a new skill which was memory. And through learning this new skill, I could become a human calendar. So if you ask me a random date, I'll be able to tell the day. So you, let's say, tell me 2nd September 1994. So I might be able to give you the correct answer within few seconds. So these are some skills which I learned, but today we have a very short time. I'll not touch upon the memory topic. I'll touch upon a mind map topic. Next thing is in the memory, we learn like a random shuffle deck of cards. I can do it in 10 minutes and I can speak. You tell me this card is on which number. So you shuffle a deck of cards, give me, I'll scan all the cards. And after 10 minutes, you tell me, okay, where is this card or where is what card is on this number. So I can tell you that. And apart from this, I like to play squash. And then in my life, I love traveling a lot and I like to do adventure sports like rafting. You can see here, I've done skydive and I'm a bit adventurous person. I can solve a Rubik's Cube in less than a minute. And I have done some memory trainings and I like to conduct seminars in various topics like memory training, mind map, speed reading, creativity and innovation. I have done it in various schools and colleges and educational institutions in India and abroad. So today we are here to cover the topic of mind map. So like this, you see mind map here. And what is my vision in life? My vision is life to have multiple source of income. I'm sure nobody wants to restrict to one. So you should have multiple sources of income. And apart from that, you should have passive income sources. So I want to become an orator and I want to become a professional, which I am. And already I am having most of these skills which are written here to have a passive income. And of course, to venture someday a restaurant with my brother in Canada. So this is a brief introduction about my life. And I'm sure I hardly took very few minutes and I gave you a brief brief about my life. So this is a tool which is called a mind map. And rather than we do the linear study, we normally write on papers which have lines, and we write from left to right. Correct? So in this tool, we don't write left to right. If I have to write all this on a sheet of paper, it could take me all this information which is on this slide. It could take me maybe 4 or 5 pages. And if I tell you all these details, I have to form the sentences with proper grammar and spelling. It would be very boring. But in here, in 2-3 minutes, I gave you a brief about my life. Now this is a mind map, and I'm going to teach you how you can make a mind map. And I'm going to teach you how you can use this to upskill yourself and get new ideas, be more creative, and then definitely succeed in life. Moving on to the next slide. So this is, as I mentioned, I can solve a Rubik's Cube. So this is just a screenshot wherein I can do, my current record is around 52 seconds. So this is what I've achieved through these memory trainings and through the various upskilling I do. So before we start, let's play a small game. This is a very, very simple game. I'm sure so many of you are young chartered accountants and you watch Netflix, and most of you must have seen the latest series, which is #1 in the world right now, Squid Game. So there were few easy games in that series. All those who have seen, it's fine. For those who have not seen, no worries. You're not going to lose anything. So we played easy games. So we'll start the session with a small game. And this game is, if you want to memorize 15 words in the same order, you can see on the screen, there are 15 words. And if I tell you that how much time would you take to learn these 15 words and give it back to me in the same order, and if I ask you, oh, what is the word after sword, you need to tell me Michael Jackson. If I tell you what is the word after window, you have to tell me butterfly, and I can ask you in reverse order or any other order. So I'm sure everybody would say, this might take me 30 minutes to learn, 15 minutes to learn. Oh, this is not possible. So let me give you an example how we can make things easy, how we can make things interesting, and how we can create an impact on our memory. So the simple solution is, I'm sure if whenever I do physical seminars and I ask this question, so some people say that they will, if they want to give this 15 items in the same order or reverse order, they will take to learn 1 hour, half an hour. And I'm going to prove this to you, that these things can be memorized in a very, very short time. And how much can be the short time? The short time could be, let's say, 30 seconds. So memorizing this 15 words in 30 seconds, if I tell you, and you will be able to memorize all these words for the next 6 months. If you attend a session with me after next 6 months and I show you this list, you will say, oh, remove this list, and I'll tell you what is after sofa, it's, let's say, or what is after chocolate, it's spot. Okay, so I'm going to teach you the power of an image. So everyone, leave your phones in hand or leave your all the distractions you have around you and try to focus on the screen, because I'll be closing this screen, next slide, in less than 15 or 20 seconds, because I'm going to give you a short speech about 15-20 seconds, and then you'll definitely able to learn these words. So just listen to me. The first word is photo frame on the top right hand corner. After the photo frame, the next word is scooter. The next word is scooter. And then there is a window. And from the window has just come a word, a butterfly. So first word is photo frame, scooter, window, butterfly. And below we have a snake, and there is a sword in the snake's mouth. And here is a Michael Jackson who is afraid from the sword and hiding below a golden sofa. And on top of the sofa, there is a tiger sitting, and a tiger has a chocolate in his right hand, a pot on his head with few tube lights, a bird on the top, and the keys. So next 30 seconds are over, and I'm sure that you all remember this. So all of you try it in your mind. I'll try to tell you what is the word after the photo frame. I'm sure you'll be able to tell it's a scooter. Or what is the image, what is there in the mouth of the snake? It's a sword, right? So I'm sure whenever I've done this experiment in front of people, I pick up any random people from the audience. 99% people are able to give all the words in the same order. And let's say I ask you one more question. Who is sitting on the sofa? Is it a tiger or is it a bird? It's a tiger sitting on the sofa, right? I'm sure your memory is, giving you that one image which gave you these 15 words. And if you'll think that you will not be able to reproduce all these 15 words, but if you pick up paper and pen and start writing these papers, I'm sure all of you who saw this image would be able to do this experiment. So what I'm trying to tell you, that image is really powerful. Image is more powerful than words. A single image is worth 1,000 words. We have all heard this saying, but we saw here that if we had to memorize these 15 words, it would take a lot of time. So what I'm trying to tell you, whatever ideas we get in mind, whatever plans we make for our office, for our work, for our life, we can do it through a tool called mind map, which will be an image, which will be a colorful image. And I'll show you some examples how we can do it and the rules to do the same mind map. So moving on to the next slide. So who has invented, I'm going to teach a lot, cover a lot of things in a very short time. So who has invented this mind map thing? There's a person called Tony Buzan, who was a UK national. And this is his mind map. If you just go around it, you will get to know, oh man, he has done so many things in life. His achievements are making a mind map. He has done some championships across the world. He's an advisor to governments and whatnot. So with the mind map, you get to know the idea of a person, what he has done in life and how many books he has written, or like 95 books he has written. He knows more than 30 languages. So this person must be a great man, and he made a software to make a mind map. Like this is a mind map in front of you. So let's start. So I was fortunate enough to meet this person. I did a course with him in UK and I learned this skill, and this person is no more. He died 2 years back in April. So he's no more with us in here, but he gave a very good skill, which I'm going to share with you. So what kind of problems do you encounter at your workplace or in your life? So if you see this list, this list was gathered from a survey of 100,000 people around the world. Which is the biggest problem? Remembering is a problem. Concentrating is a problem. Studying is a problem. Communicating effectively is a problem. So these are the list. So this list, after having a look at this list, Tony Buzan thought of making a tool, and he made a tool by which most of these problems are solved. So this is the basic of a brain. There's a right brain, there is a left brain. I'm sure some of you must have seen this slide or heard about it. Our left brain dominates on the words, numbers, lines, list, logics, and the right brain is mostly rhythm, color, imagination, daydreaming. So this is a very basic what our brain has to do. So now coming back to what is a mind map. A mind map is a visual representation of a person's thinking. So if you see this mind map, you can imagine my mind map. I gave you my introduction of my life. So this also looks like a brain. A brain has various connections going right, left, up, down. So this is the mind map, and we'll start learning. So if we come to PowerPoint, we have, I'm sure being CAs, we all use PowerPoint, we all use Excel, we make charts. So in the PowerPoint, in the insert section, we have this option, and I'm sure most of us, we use these charts and diagrams to make PPTs and give information, make hierarchy, management hierarchies, and make like relationship, making pyramids. So we are all using this basic representation. But if we come to the next level is the mind map representation. So coming back to again, what is the difference between a normal PPT skill and a mind map? So mind map is a diagram which is used to represent words, ideas, and generate visualized structure, and which helps us basically in studying and solving problems. So I'm sure you will be excited to learn how to draw a mind map. It's super easy, it's super fun, and it's super helpful. So just 7 rules, just simple 7 rules. And if you like my presentation and after that if you want to access these slides, you just Google it, how to create a mind map. You will find several free data available on the internet, which gives you this information which I'm going to share with you in this slide. So how to draw a mind map? There are some basic rules. Rule number one is start in the center of a page. So normally what we are doing is to write anything, we start from the top left hand corner. So instead of starting from top left hand corner to draw a mind map, we have to start from the center of the page. Second rule is you need not to put the sheet vertically, you need to put horizontally, right? Not like your phone screens, but like your laptop screens. Why? Because it is considered, if you have a landscape, you have 360-degree area, and this is ever expanding, and you can go anywhere. You can add more sheets and you can write whatever your idea is and expand this central idea. What is the second rule to create a mind map? Use images and pictures to make it more creative, to look beautiful, and add some colors to it so that it's not boring like the linear learning. So if you put a central idea, try to put an image. Like in my profile, it was my about my life. So I put my image in between and I write about myself. And similarly, I showed you the mind map of Tony Buzan. So he had his image in between, and what he did in his life was around the mind map. Okay. So next thing is you need to connect your main branches to the central branch and connect your second and third level branches. It's like a simple flow chart which you do. So central idea, this is the central idea. You connect some branches, write an idea here, and then you take out more. And the key to make a good mind map and to get more ideas is to use as less words as possible. So how we'll try to use one keyword per line. One keyword per line. Why? Because then you can expand that lines to various sub branches and create more data. We'll see about it. Yeah, this might look like going from the top of your head, but when we see a real mind map within a minute or two, you'll be able to connect with that one keyword per line, how it helps. Second is use colors. See, this is black and white. If you use color, it looks more great to our mind. Our mind likes to see colors, and we see colors in our life. So make your okay, we'll start again. First rule, central idea. Second rule, try to put an image. Third rule, create branches. Fourth rule, one keyword per line. Try to keep one keyword per line. Fifth rule is to use colors throughout. So if you make it colorful, it's more interesting for the brain. Next rule is to make your branches curved rather than straight line. So if you make curve like this and not straight lines, it is researched and proven that curves are more perceived by the brain, and we like seeing those images much better than straight lines. Then the last rule is to use images throughout. Like if you go to my mind map, so there was an image besides adventure, that was rafting. So just by image you can tell a lot, like what you like to do and what you can do. So there's a Rubik's Cube, so you can see a Rubik's Cube image. So this is how you create a mind map. So what are the simple guidelines? It's a personal style, it's like a signature. So you start from the center and try to use images, colors, and then you can use the keyword, you can use uppercase, lowercase, and then this branches should come up. Another rule which was not mentioned earlier is the first branch needs to be thick, then the second branch becomes more thin, and then more thin. So this looks more catchy to our eyes, and you can use colors, you can use images, and then you can make hierarchy, outlines, and this is how a mind map should go. So one rule is it's like a clock also. It starts from the here, like 12 o'clock. If you imagine this whole page to be a clock. So how do you read a mind map? You don't read from anywhere here or here. You read from 12 o'clock. So that's how you read a mind map. So this is also a simple mind maps to quickly revise what I have spoken. So mind map, you need to have a paper. The paper should be blank. It should not have lines, like we normally use a lined paper for our writing our notes. It should be a blank paper with a landscape, and then we can use images, colors, words, and then lines become thicker in the beginning and thinner at the end. And this is a style. You can make it as you like, and it has to be clear. Okay. So going to the next slide. This is just an example of how you plan a trip. Let's say you want to plan a trip. You want to go to you want to go to a country, and you put the destination and you put the luggage, what the currency, passport. So if you are writing down normal notes, so see, how do you start? You make a plane here that you want to travel. Now documents, what you need to carry. So it could be your passport, your visa, your conference papers, your PowerPoint slides. So this is how creative you can make your daily life. And most of the mind maps are available on it. You just need to put on the internet a mind map for my travel plan. So you'll get a basic idea of how this looks and how you can make it more interesting and how you can make it more handy and useful. So one of the biggest mind map was used by a Boeing company by Dr. Mike Stanley. This is a 25 feet mind map which talks about Boeing, the company, what they do, what the parts and how they make planes. So this is an example of real mind map application in life. Then there is a Hong Kong company which has this weekly meeting template. So they weekly meet and what they discuss is cash flow, critical issue, budgets, PR, learning, sales, and then they fill this template. See, this is a template and this is how they fill it with the pen and paper, with colors in the office, in their weekly meetings. They talk and they make a mind map and they make their meetings more interesting. Next is you can use a mind map for your own wedding. Like this is not my mind map. I've not made this mind map. This is from image from the internet. So this is for an English wedding. So what do people do? They keep a dress. You need to buy a dress. You need to hire a photographer for your marriage, or you need to have ceremonies. What are the ceremonies? How will the invitations go? What time will be timelines for invitations? And what kind of things you need to do? And the honeymoon you plan. So honeymoon where? What will be the travel dates? Passport, visas, vaccinations, reservations. So this is how you can be creative in your life. And to start with, just pick up some beautiful colors in your hand and just give your try to a mind map. And this is a normal mind map of our body system. I'm sure we're all finance people. We are not from the medical background. So this would not interest us more. And what would interest is a financial planning using a mind map. So if you want to do your own financial planning, so what all insurances you need to take, what are the household rents and mortgages and education. So what all you need to do, you can write it in a mind map. So what is mind map? Mind map is basically a way to write down your ideas. You do a brainstorming for yourself and then you make it more interesting. So it also happened that Bill Gates mentioned once that in 2006, he mentioned in a newspaper that a new generation mind mapping software can also be used as a digital blank slate to help connect and synthesize ideas data. So Bill Gates uses this idea and the software, which is mind mapping by the Tony Buzan. And this is the idea which is used to write down his idea. This software is used to create ideas and to write down his plans for ahead. So if successful people like Bill Gates can use such good systems, I'm sure we should be convinced that instead of having a regular paper, having these lines, and instead of having a regular notes, we should make it colorful and show it to people. And I'm sure if you do it in your daily life, rather than having slides like this and mentioning data like this, I'm sure a mind map would be more interesting. So what are the uses of mind map? So you can do brainstorming, you can take notes during a meeting, you can use it for your presentations like I just used, problem solving, decision making, company structure, you can make the company structure, and then you can do a teamwork, and in your weekly meetings or in your monthly meetings, you can discuss about various ideas. And instead of having this normal test plans, like you see here, we can make it more creative and we can make a test plan like this. So simple thing, I would like to conclude the session that instead of having test plans, regular test plans like this, we just need to think about 5 W's: what, when, why, who, where. And just if we know this 5 W's and we start making any mind map for any plan, like for example, this is a technical plan. Why are we doing this plan? When is this plan going to take place? Where is this plan going to take place? Who will be the people involved? So if you just think about the 5 W's and try making a mind map for any topic, for any software implementation, or for anything in life, I'm sure this will help you a lot. Thank you so much, and I'm sure you absorb this skill and not just be this session you attend and forget, but this session should be like the images we remember. What is sitting on the golden sofa? Is it a tiger or is it a bear? I'm sure you'll be able to say it's a tiger. And what is there on the right hand of the tiger? Is it a balloon? No, it's a chocolate. Correct. So you're able to remember images better, and I'm sure that absorbing this skill and using this skill, and just need to Google it after my session. Whenever you feel in life you want to use this, just Google about mind maps. It's a freely available information on the internet. And definitely, if you want to thank me, don't thank me by saying thank you. Thank me by making your first mind map. Thank you so much. I'm sure you had a great session. See you soon.
Many thanks. It has been an experience for me to attend session of Tony Buzan also. And
Yeah, I remember he came to Dubai once.
yeah,
Yeah,
I now request our committee secretary, Mr. G. Ranganathan, to please propose a vote of
Yeah, sir, thank you. Yeah, Pulkit Mehraji, for me also this was the first time I heard anyone talking about mind map, particularly a charter content. And as you said,
correct,
I will not just thank you, but I'll also try to create a mind map of mine. And
correct.
your diversified skills that you talked about are very, very impressive. This mind map is a new skill. Perhaps our CS students who have to read so much and remember so much, maybe this mind map
Correct.
will be useful to them. But then the people who are attending our program, they will pass the CA examination. Perhaps we can conduct a session with you for our students who are yet to
Sure,
appear in our.
definitely.
You
Definitely.
also.
Anytime, sir.
I'm sorry.
Definitely. Thank you so much. It would be my pleasure to conduct a session for CA students also.
Yes, definitely. I'll recommend our director of studies. Maybe for the students,
Hmm.
we can have a session, but not 30
Yeah,
minutes, maybe another one. We'll
of
definitely
course,
have a.
of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, so 30 minutes was just to run through. Yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
The various examples you gave, and then that picture of tiger. Of course, I'm
Yeah,
quite old now. I'm 57-year-old, but out of those 15 things, I think I can still remember 12 easily.
correct,
Thank you so very
correct.
much. Very wonderful session. Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
so much, sir, for your great words. I'm sure the board you have behind you has various black and white notes, and I want to see a one mind map on the screen next time we see you online.
I'll do that. I'll do
Thank you
that.
so much. Thank you.
I'll do that. Thank you. Thank you.
Many thanks, Pulkit. Now we move on to our third session of the day with Harsh, who is our young member from mostly based in Dubai. Harsh is a global CEO of Water and Shark and has maneuvered his organization across different countries since 2012 and has paved the way for its establishment in India, USA, UK, Singapore, and UAE. He is proficient in international taxation, auditing, corporate structuring, real estate, transaction advisory, startup venturing, and strategic advisory, including corporate and international business laws. He is featured by Forbes India and GMI as one of top people manager. He is recipient of award by Honorable Governor of West Bengal, Pride of Maharashtra Award, and listed as influential consultant to watch in Gulf 2021. Thank you so much, Harsh. Thank you for all you contribute to the initiatives of ICI. You have contributed to our chapters session in Africa and also in Middle East. So today you are here with us to speak to our young members for 25 minutes, and I'm sure the topic which you have chosen, millennial leadership, will make a big difference in the life of our young members. And I request our members to please be responsive to any questions if Harsh asks, and put across any questions you may have. And let us give a big virtual round of applause to Harsh. And Harsh, the screen is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pradeep sir, for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to be one of the speaker among this August Chartered Accountant Forum that across comprising from different parts of the location. I will say I'm always be there for my young fellow members, chartered accountants, those who are leaders in making. So that is what our industry and our ICI as a forum, where one family helps together to grow together to nurture them so that they become pioneer in future. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Having said that, I'll begin my session for my young members. First of all, today I'm not here gonna share about something that as a teaching experience or learning or something. I'm just here to explore the inner strength that we all as a chartered accountant, young chartered accountant, we all possess. But somewhere down the line, it is lying inside deeply. So let's take a pledge today with a mindset that whatever happens, no matter whatever is there, we as a chartered accountant, we have learned during our curriculum, the course, and the practical training that nothing can stop us. The courage, the passion, and that attitude, that is very much important being a leader. So the what is the topic is all about? What is millennial leadership? So guys, we all know we live in a today's era that is evolution the is that world has ever seen the fast changing, you know not just because of the during current pandemic time, even much before the pandemic also, we have seen that the lot of disruptions and the innovations are happening around the world. In the fourth revolution, industrial 4.0, we live in the era called artificial intelligence and internet of doing things. So that requires being as a chartered accountant have courageous, innovative, a dynamic, not just as a accounting and the tax and the industry in which we function, but as a overall necessary requires to being as a leader. And yes, of course, indeed, we have seen in our last couple of decades that many chartered accountants are seen as CEOs and CFOs and founders and promoters across different countries. Yes, that's the beauty of our Indian Chartered Accountancy course degree. It gives you a gateway to the world, not just India, right? So, what is important things in order to first when we begin our career, be it in industry, be it in practice, or be it in governmental or non-societal the societal roles. It is important first to have follow your passion. See, nobody can tell me, can anyone say that we become a chartered accountant by chance? No, I don't think so. Luck can be one of the factor, but your hard work, your passion, your commitment, and commitment towards the not getting letting the things down. That's what you make you chartered accountant, right? Can anyone tell me like I was just writing a paper casually and I become a chartered accountant out of blue? Then how can you expect a success or a leadership comes to you by sitting in your comfort zone? No, it cannot possible. So what does that mean? First, you need to follow your passion. You need to find where your passion lies. During your industry job or your practice by going 10:30 to 5:30 or 9 to 6, though you might be fulfilling your routine goals, you know, but you are not pursuing your passion. So if you are not pursuing your passion, that means the excellence is not going to find a way, and that is not going to lead to a future success. So the important is to understand and keep in mind, choose your passion, follow your passion, and excellence will lead to your way. In current times, it is also one of the important things to understand. Being we live in an era where the lot of entire whatever we do is surrounded by social media revolution and internet of doing things. So one thing to keep in mind, there is no shortcut to success, and there is no future in cool. It's like it's a fad and it's a trend. So it may come fast and may come go, just like a dope money. It comes quick and leaves quicker. So life is a marathon, and we have to go slowly but with a steadily plan and with a vision. Why I am giving this, the background and why reason why we need to follow this. See, when we start as our journey, we compare ourselves. We usually, I also used to in my initial day used to compare myself with the seniors of the industry or the solvent of the industry. This is my goal where I want to go and reach. Of course, that's fine. You may have your mentors who you follow them, you take the guidance from them. but you cannot compare yourself from the first day, because both the person's positions, the background, and the level playing field is a different. So everybody is unique, my dear friend. Each and every one, all we are unique. So that means we all are unique. We need a unique methodologies, unique passions, and unique skill set to achieve the means of where we are destinies aligned. So don't compare yourself with your seniors after 20 years or 20 years where the success are lying. Their struggle, their success not going to come to you in a just span of few months or years, right? A commitment, a dedication, determination, and discipline is very much important to follow your whatever you do in your professional career. So determination is nothing but you need to be determined about what you need to do. So under whatever circumstance, whatever happens, your ability should be there to continue doing tasks, even if it seems difficult. Dedication. You need to give it dedicatedly attached to the quality of doing things. That is what the standard of excellence about chartered accountants are. And discipline, to have a self train, to control oneself, to set the rules and keep follow them. Under no matter whatever happens, you should not allow yourself also to break the rules. So 3D is important to understand, to follow our dreams and innovative approach to achieve our goals and destiny. 1 second. Sir, are we allowed to have a question answer sessions during session?
Yeah. Any questions if comes through, Harsh, I will share that with you. You can continue with your session.
Definitely. Thank you. So, my dear friends, I will request if I can have just a gist of it. What are our goals as a chartered accountant? Wherever you are working, be it an industrial, being a young chartered, what are your goals? What exactly we trying to want to achieve? Sir, if you can just summarize, if 3-4 answers just we receive.
You continue, Harsh. If any response comes, I will share that with you.
Definitely. Yeah. So goals can be, in any form, but can never be in the form of a monetary success. So oftenly, I have come across during interaction with the young members that we need to go for I need to upgrade my standard of livings and life. Of course, that could be one of the reason, but that cannot be the goal. So if you stick your goals with the money measurement, then what if once you achieve and once you cross that goal, then there will not be any passion. So what you will gonna do, right? So goal has to be something that is a journey through which you are going to achieve that. So it can be anything. I need to be expert in this way. I need to be a leader in this field, or be transformative, or be disruptive in this particular area, or where I work across. So of course that vision should be a long, but plan needs to be done periodically. So on a small vision. So that's why we call it, you need to jot it down, your long story, long vision, and break it into a small action plan. Then you can betterly implement it. So this is what all about. First, basically what we need to have being a leader is courageous, be bold to do anything that you have a passion to pursue them. Otherwise, we all have seen that if we are thinking as a ordinary, then never can be a extraordinary gains and means to be come back to you. So important to keep in mind that you need to be passionate, you need to be courageous, you need to take a bold decisions, and never afraid of failing. Failure makes you strong, and failures gives you a learning lesson to grow further, and that makes you a meter stronger. So that is all about the important things in when your earlier stage you start your journey, that this gives you a little bit strength about it. Coming over to opportunity, if we say opportunity per se, be it in an industry side or be it in a practice. Being an Indian chartered accountant, as I earlier said, that doors are open across the globe, not just particular one country. And the reasons are foremost, our Institute of Chartered Accountant has signed up MOUs with many countries, which puts you in a position to go for mutual recognitions based chartered accountancy or the CPA degrees of the respective country. Now, Graduating from a elite institute or having a chartered accountancy degree does not guarantee your success. So this is just a stepping stone. You need to now plan further. So what does this mean? This gives you access to a foreign countries, a foreign boundary where you can explore things of your chartered accountancy practice. By it is not like that you need to move out of your country, then only you can provide a services or you are eligible or you can compete. Of course, technical skill set needs to be uh, there in order to cater to such kind of services and the opportunity. So take an example, if we take a consider the Western countries like USA, UK, Europe, and other countries, where we have seen that in last couple of 2 years, the 50%, 50 more than 50% of freelancing work have been catered by Indian chartered accountant. Yes, example per se, a legal advisory, a drafting of corporate documents, advising on entrepreneurs from different side of the countries to set up the business in these countries, taxations, then business advice, then projections, planning, and so on. So this gives you a platform. There are variety of dozens of platform which enables you to put forward your skill set and project you as a professionals in different set of a country, right? So physical barrier is not going to work, and nowadays we realize that in a disruptive and dynamic environment, the we need to we need to look beyond what we typically used to do as a chartered accountant. So compliance is not the way forward, my dear friends. We need to look into a more beyond the typical compliance are there. So innovative based services, value added services to industry and society, that where we can contribute more, we can bring our ideas and suggestions through which we can build an ecosystem which helps not just as a to our client but wherever we work across. So opportunity in terms of what are the stepping stones, what we need to do first. So first, it is very much important to comes within yourself. Yes, I can do it. Yes. So it is not that somebody is telling you, just because I am telling you you can do this work, then you can do it, or you can tackle this kind of opportunities. It's not like that. It comes within. It you need to follow. You need to tell yourself, yes, I can do it. Why I cannot do it? So right amount of positive attitude is required, because if you say that I cannot do it, I will not able to do it, somewhere down the line in your subconscious mind, it's keep whispering, in your mind that no, you cannot do it. So when you are going to do, it will bother you, and at the end of the day, your end result is going to be not the one that you desired for. So very much important to have positive attitude, whatever way that you do in your life, and that makes you way for your easier way of work. Having said that, once you start your journey, it's not like the cakewalk. We all know that our during our CA curriculum and the CA examinations, it was never meant for easy. So nothing comes easy, my dear friend. When you start a new journey, be it in India or abroad, anywhere, the it's journey that matters. That is what we all say. Success is a journey; it's not a destination. So that journey makes you more stronger, and every day, every passing day, you are learning, and because of that learning, you become a better person. That should be your ultimate as a goal, more than the what success as a destiny. Having said that, during this process of journey, there might be time comes that roller coaster journeys are there, and you might feel like little hard to push back. Let me just move on to other way of doing things because I am not able to continue. But you may never know, had there been a courage to pursue the continue that journey, you would have been in a better position. That's why most oftenly we say the time when we quit, that time we never know that the journey was about to end. We are just near to our goal. So that's the reason. No matter whatever happens, you need to stick to your goals. You need to be determined that nothing can stop me, even during this current times also. So very much important you follow your passion, and don't afraid to take any bold decision. Don't let anybody to tell you that ordinary man cannot have an extraordinary dream and vision to pursue. So I come from a very small humble background when we started as a journey, many of our relatives or many of our faculty members or many say it is impossible to imagine or impossible to even try. But I am never afraid to fail. That's what one thing that I always say, that it's very much important for me, and I will continue to do that. Failure does not makes me a weaker. Failure makes me a stronger, and that gives us a lesson and learning, so that in future, whenever we take any decisions or take any journey, that helps us in doing things differently. So now let's take a last practical. Many of my friends, since this is I believe most of the members are from industry and business. So young members, considering they are from industry and at job. So if at all, considering current times, and the ICI also calls for many of our young members to come for in the practice area. Many of our young members, those who wish to come to a practice, considering the opportunity, not just at India, but global at large, don't think about that, after a few years, I will just get into my industry, I'll be in my comfort zone, I will make sure that my, the whatever goals of monetary and my basic necessities have been taken care of, then I'll move to practice. So it doesn't wrong, it is not wrong in going from an industry, but what makes you extra, you extra effort that is required to pursue your dream. That means during your time, that gives you ample of time during your working, you need to follow your passion and dream. If you have a passion to do something, you will find time, even if you are working somewhere, even if you are committed to something, right? And put your time into something that is very much important, that is a long-term passion and goals, right? So don't forget that, and it is never too late to start anything. Last but not the least, the majority of our young members, those who recently qualified, we see a graphical presentation when we see the dynamics of our practicing chartered accountant in India. So where this opportunity lies, I'm sorry, sir, if I'm addressing on a practicing or something angle, but it is just on an opportunity way, that majority of our practicing chartered accountant in India are above age group of 55 to 60. So this puts us in a position, don't we think that there are enough of opportunity? If this senior chartered accountant members, if given a time, if they have been going to retire or they are going to settle down in something else, then who else? That means we all will have enough of opportunity, level playing field, not just in India but across the globe. So little bit analysis, little bit innovative and dynamic need to be there in order to take your steps further and plan accordingly. So having said that, whatever you do, not just keep your interest in at the center, but make sure that our profession's interest, our society interest, our country's interest should be kept in mind and at the center of all our decisions. With this mindset positive, I'll encourage you to all be the change, be courageous, and be bold enough to take decisions that even if it harm you, even if backfire you for short term, but I am sure today might be difficult for all of you, tomorrow might be even difficult, but day after tomorrow, if we are courageous enough to take bold decisions, will be more difficult, beautiful for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Harsh. Now I request our committee secretary, Mr. Ranganathan, to please propose a vote of thanks to you.
Thank you, Mr. Pradeep. C.A. Harsh Patel, sir, very wonderful hearing about various mantras of leadership and coming out from a very young member. And you had very rightly covered the many very important issues. In fact, people who have been successful, they have followed the mantra that you have said, that following one's own passion, was determining where one's passion lies. That itself is a big thing. Then a mission, determination, commitment to follow that, then dedication, discipline, taking bold decisions, and then not have the fear of failing. These are the very important things which you said, which actually takes a person to greater heights. the very last thing that you said, really very impressive. That howsoever successful you are, whatever you do, always keep the interest of profession and that of society in mind. Very, very important things to do. Thank you so very much for a very wonderful session. Very grateful to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Harsh. We now move on to our last session of the day, which will be taken by CA Jaideep Rana, who is based out of Bahrain in Middle East. Jaideep is a qualified chartered accountant from our institute and currently working as CFO of BIBF, which is Bahrain Institute of Banking and Finance in Bahrain. BIBF is a human capital arm of Central Bank in Bahrain. He is a PhD scholar from Bansthali Vidyapeeth in Jaipur, India, and MBA from Strathclyde Business School, Glasgow. He also completed diploma in Islamic finance from SEMA, UK, and IFRS post-qualification certification from our institute. Prior to joining BIBF, Jaideep has worked in KPMG, Bahrain, Mumlakat, and AR Capita Bank. Jaideep had also served in the executive committee of our chapter in Bahrain, and since many years, since more than a decade, Jaideep has been continuous support for ICI initiatives in Bahrain, whether it's MOU with BIBF or other things. And thank you so much, Jaideep, for all what you have done for our institute and all you do to encourage our members and students, all your support for the examination center also in Bahrain. So thank you. And recently you completed your PhD. Congratulations for it. And I am sure many of our young members want to pursue that path, and this session of yours where you would like to take give a guidance on the journey of PhD, that will be of great help to our members. And I have never thought about doing PhD, but I hope that I also get inspired today from your session. And with this, I request all our young members to please give a big virtual round of applause to Jaideep. And Jaideep, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Pradeep, and thank you the committee with the chairman and Mr. Ranganathan to giving me opportunity. And it is great pleasure, Pradeep, to get words from you. And I personally try to always be a chartered accountant. And being a chartered accountant, that means we have to do everything for our institute. When I started my career, the first day of my training as a articleship, my mentor, Mr. Sehgal, he's the L. Sehgal partner of L. Sehgal firm. He told me, see, when you are starting a chartered accountancy course, don't expect what ICI will do for you. You just think about what you can contribute to your institute. So this is what actually my whole idea. I try to follow still the same path. As I will not take a lot of time, I'll give you some brief about the topic so the student can actually think about. I know this session is mainly for the young qualified, recently qualified CAs. And the topic is basically giving you just not a path of PhD, it also gives an opportunity which was not very well thought with our previous members on the teaching side. A lot of people have their career in professional way, practice, corporates, but very few members has thought about. So I'll start my presentations to give you some more details. As the presentation is clear?
Yes, Jaideep, your last slide is visible, so I think...
Yeah, I'll go now. The first slide. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll not talk about my personal, what I do, because you will get bored. I'll go what basically you should be doing, because what I did was my personal choice. what you want to do, that should be your personal thought process. So I'm just here to give you some penetration of the idea of the PhD. As Pravdeep even said that he also think about to do the PhD, and it's a great idea. And I personally believe this looks like, when we thought about PhDs, look like this the first picture where we have a cycle and we see the PhD path. And once we start, we come in the reality, and then we find it out it's so difficult, and almost 40 to 45% people actually just leave it in the middle of the path, because they realize that the headache and the journey was not as what we expected. Before starting this path, I'll just tell you one thing. Usually when we deal with the qualified, recently qualified, whether it's a CA or any other professions, when we pass, we feel like that we have a lot of knowledge. We can actually do a lot of changes. We can change the whole world. We studied a lot of tax laws. We have studied all those accounting standards. Yes, we do. But those were just given as a thought. Now we have to apply those thoughts. And that applications is not actually just just depend on our previous studies. That need actually a proper evaluation, proper applications. So, the newly qualified people, I'll just tell you that when we think about changes, we have to structure of the changes, because changes will not come without having a proper structure. So I'll advise that when we qualify, we should have actually a pride what we did. But we should not be overconfident that we know everything, which is very critical. Why I'm saying that? Because once we think about PhD, first thing we have to remove is our hat that we know everything, or we can do everything very easily. Even I had this same issue when I started my PhD journey. I thought that, see, we did chartered accountancy course. Now I can pass. It's not a big deal. So friends, the first thing, when we think about a PhD, we have to understand that we are going to be a researcher. A researcher means what? A researcher means a person who is going to start from the basic. Yes, you have a technical knowledge, but how that technical knowledge is going to give you innovation. So when we talk about PhD, I will also give you my latest research, which is basically triple entry accounting. So I will try to link both, so you will understand what I am talking about theoretical side, my experience, as well as what I did with my PhD thesis. If you see why we should be thinking about PhD, a lot of people has talked about that. See, we have to think about passion, we have to think about mentorship, we have to think about leadership. But there are some people who has actually recently qualified, and they need actually a progression route. They are not very happy that they don't want to go directly to the to corporate world, or neither they are actually interested to go to the practice side. So what is the place where they can actually think about what they have learned and they want to apply? So this PhD is another route, which is not actually neither a corporate nor actually a practice side. It gives you something called academia side, a new role, a new challenge, a new strategy. So it's another new branch of progression of our profession. See, I work with an institution which is very reputed. It's a government-owned institution, and I deal with a lot of professionals. You cannot believe that half of the speakers, renowned speakers, they are not like philosophers. They are basically subject matter experts, and then those subject matter experts actually get converted their profile into a role of speakers, or the influencer, or you can say academic people. So this is one of the reasons why we should think about. Second one is a financial support. Recently, our institute, as well as even another universities, some few universities through NIT and all those ones, they have really given us a great opportunity for the people who is basically interested to earn some monetary support and pursue their career as a academic side. And that is where the PhD again gives you a better opportunity, because if we see if you are in tier 3 city and if you are a qualified chartered accountant, maybe your salary range is basically coming at par or sometime even lower than the what this ICAI has given opportunity through the PhD support. So this is another thing which basically gives you opportunity if you are not very keen, or if you do not want to move out from your city and you want to actually go and do the research on PhD or on some interesting topics, you can do that. The other areas, I will not go for all details because I mentioned here with the several items. One of the things basically I'll mention here is that when you qualify, you are going to have a different world. Why? Because before qualification, you were competing with the students. Those students were coming from the finance, from the accounting, from the audit, and they had a very different background, and they are BCom, they are 10+2. So you were actually competing with the upper grade, lower grade, very intelligent, low IQ people. So your competition was more with those type of people. But once you are qualified, basically you are going to compete with only chartered accountants. So what basically you are going to compete, to whom you are competing? You are competing either they are with the same caliber you have or better than your caliber. So how to differentiate your skills from them? That's a critical part, because if we cannot differentiate, then most probably we are going to be in the same league where we have to struggle and we have to actually show them that what we can do is the same the other person can also do. You cannot believe that almost only 2 to 3% professionals are basically PhD qualification holder currently. So, and then another part about those qualified, even 2 to 3%, everyone is unique because everyone has a different research area. So what happens? It gives you a USP, a brand, a value additions, where you can say that what I am is no one can do the same thing what I did. So basically it gives you a platform, an opportunity to differentiate that your skill set is better or is different than the other competitor's skill set. This is very critical for all of us, because when you go to market, when you start selling your skill, when you start marketing your professional experience, when you start making your thought to be given as a consultancy fee charging, that time people have those areas to disclose or to discover that what extra you are going to give me, what is your thought which is better than or different than the one we have from others. So this is the place where you can say that, see, I have this research, I am PhD, I did my research, and this is where I have been recognized by globally, because when you talk about PhD, it is not just one university. Usually nowadays, based on the digital platform, it's a global, because everyone is uploaded in the Google research, and then people can very easily find it out who is basically copying, and then the turn it in there. So you are basically now, once you say you are a PhD, you are a global PhD. You are not just a PhD from one locations. So this gives you some edge from the others. Then one of the things basically we also again I wanted to mention about the in-depth learning of the problem. See, if you see the project management concept, or even the in CA we had operation management, the blueprint, service blueprint, and all those areas. So if you recognize those areas, the first thing to solve anything, any issue, you have to identify the problem. Being a chartered accountant, we are very much feeded with the accounting standard, with the taxation rules, these laws, dot laws. So our innovations somehow get actually stuck with those laws or those regulations, because whenever we think about something, we always have 10 more actually barriers comes in the mind that, see, if we think about this the problem will come. This is the issue. These are the business rules will get break. So what we are trying to say that the PhD again gives you a thought idea where you can go in depth of the problem instead of just actually looking on the surface or just looking on the compliance perspective or the governance perspective. So this gives you a different perspective. Another thing, basically, innovations. Innovation will be coming only through research. There is no way that innovations comes from the just a day-to-day work. So if you feel like that, you can actually think about innovation. And innovation doesn't mean that you have to have very unique, your products should be unique. No. Innovations can be anything, even if sometimes it's just actually critics of something. Maybe you heard about that some cinema comes up and then suddenly one person criticizes that, see, in this cinema Deepika Padukone has done this mistake, in this cinema Arjun Singh has done this mistake, and those critics become so popular that even earlier no one knew that, but the critics has become actually they are more popular than the cinema itself. So what it means, they didn't do anything, they just actually did an innovation of criticizing. So the PhD doesn't mean that you have to bring a very unique idea where no one has actually anything. It just gives you some innovations on the current practice. Last and very important, being a chartered accountant, I always feel like that. All the members, they always feel we need to know update. Oh, I feel like I'm outdated. Oh, what is new going on? The one who is in audit, they always think that what's happening in digital? I'm feeling outdated. I should be going for CPRs for digital. The one who is in digital side, they think that, see, I'm totally out, boss. I'm totally out from the audit side. I don't know what's happening with the IFRS. So what basically it means? It means that a chartered accountant or a student or a learning habituals has this problem. We always want to learn more and more. And the PhD is one of the best thing, because PhD has no, like, you are not basically going for one exam and you pass and then now it's a finish. It will always change the goal. Now you complete your synopsis, there's another goal is this one. Now you completed your one thesis, okay, then you have to actually start another thesis based on the previous one. So what it gives you a satisfaction. The satisfaction is not just about for the qualification or for the things. It gives you also a satisfaction for your own learning things. See, when you qualify, it is very critical for you that you package your profile. Packaging is very critical. Marketing of your profile is very critical. So if you see, like, for example, if you talk about a Britishers who is basically even doing a cleaning job, and then ask him, what do you do? The way he will explain. See, I'm very important person of the place. I make sure that no one gets actually disease here. I'm basically sanitizing the whole area. I'm responsible to make sure that people has actually very clean and hygienic areas. So you feel like somebody is talking with as a CEO who is in charge of the whole thing. And then we meet sometime with the people who is very highly qualified. And when we ask what you do, I'm not doing something great, boss. Just I'm basically managing the financials of this company. And what is the value of that company? The value of the company maybe 5,000 crore or 10,000 crore. So it's very important that you market your things, because no one will know unless until you will tell the fact. So telling the fact is required to have a marketing, and that's need actually a tool where the PhD can help you. When somebody will say Dr. Prabdeep, Dr. Jaideep, it automatically gives a image that you are an expert. You have some expertise. So this is the reason why I'm saying that you should be also thinking about PhD program. Now, I'm very thankful to ICAI and especially to Prabdeep, because I remember when I started my PhD, I went to institute and even the Prabdeep and asked Prabdeep, do we get anything from support from ICAI, not just on a monetary side, on the other side also, like connecting with the chapter. And he was very kind personally. He tried to help me out to connect the people in Japan or even US and other places. But it was not very formalized by the institute. Now you as a new qualified members has this opportunity. ICAI has opened their doors. they have opened the heart of their financial resources, which was very difficult earlier, but now they have actually given you opportunity. So try to capitalize it, because I'll tell you that people are talking about practice, but think about the institutions, the colleges, the university where they need a professor, say qualified professors, and earlier the professor job was like you are just going to work there. Now it is no more. You go to IIMs, because I connect with IIM Ahmedabad and other places. The professors are very highly paid, and then they get actually consultancy fees. So it is no more actually old-fashioned that you get actually college, you go to college, you teach and deliver and finish it. No, you are basically teaching as well as you are an industry expert, and you give consultancy. When Toyota or Tata or somebody launching a car, sometimes they go to management school and then they ask actually their finance, but can you actually tell me how do you structure it? So they get actually paid for those things. So this is another opportunity which ICI is also given, that they have identified some tools, some topics where you can go and you can complete it. See, most probably you all have seen the life of pi. But here we are talking about life of PhD Bhai, not pi. Because when we talk about the pi was fighting alone with all the problems. But when we talk about PhD Bhai, we have a guide who actually help you out. While the pi was fighting everywhere, same alone. So why I link with the pi and PhD Bhai? The reason is that because you have a Bhai with the pi, which is a guide. And that, but the struggles are similar to the pi's life, because you face different problems as a tiger or as a cyclone, different issues, and those are unexpected. You never faced, you have never expected those challenges. Like for example, when you start your PhD thesis, you have to go first for submission of synopsis. And you think about something else, and then you start something with that topic and end with something else. Because when you start, you feel like I know everything. But when you start and going and doing research, you realize that was what I was expecting and what we were actually trying to do, it has actually some issue. You go to your guide and then you say that, see, my thought is this. But when I read the previous scholars, I realized that the scholars has already denied that fact or rejected those areas. So what I'm saying that this the pi's life is very much linked with the PhD, but when you finish it, you will always remember same like how you did with your CA articleship. When you start, your life is too difficult. You have a mentor and you have a different problems. But when you finish it, after 20 years of your passing CA, you always say that, see, when I was in articleship, I was enjoying a lot. When I was going for this audit, I was doing this. When we were going Apughar in Delhi through the audit period, it was a very big fun. So these are the things you will always memorize it, and you will start having a fun time for those memories. So what it means that? It means that the PhD also has similar things, and we have to actually capture those areas. But when you finish it, you feel like when somebody will tell you that you are a scholar and you did this research, all those pains will goes out because the benefits you will get. Usually PhD has a different layers. The first one, you have to pass your basic level of testing, which is basically university based or UGC based. So whichever you want to go, you can do it. Our ICA has kind enough to get the CA degree as a master level, so we can go directly with the PhD. We don't have to go for any further qualification for masters. And then you have to submit your synopsis. Synopsis is nothing else other than a small summary what you want to do. And this is a 5 chapter. In the whole of PhD journey, you have to focus on this 5 chapter. Introduction, which is basically giving your idea, why you want to do. Literature review, basically what previously somebody has said. So when we say about literature review, I will mention here that there are 3 types of words comes from the people. One is your thought. Basically, for that, you have to say, how did you get that thought? So you have to have some calculation, you have to some logics for that. Second one It comes from the influencers or somebody who is basically previously said something, like Mahatma Gandhi has said something. Somebody else has said something. When you talk about that person, you have to give a reference very clearly when he said, so somebody can vouch it. Third, when you don't have the thought, neither somebody has said, but a group of people has given you some indications. That comes through the data analysis. So you do some analysis through the different research methodology. The methodology can be different ways. Sometimes for the innovative research, you have to use the lab. Sometimes it's just a conceptual. So it's depend on the different type of methodology. And then you have to do the analysis based on that methodology. And what is the outcome? Which can be a positive as well as negative. It is not always that what you thought about is right. So that is where you have to remove your hat that being a chartered accountant, we will be always be right. No, you have to open for that. Maybe what we did is slightly different, or it maybe has given wrong impressions to the group of the people. So these are the finding and recommendations. I did my PhD on the distributed ledger technology based triple entry accounting, which is basically just creating a new layer of accounting entries. In fact, it is not changing anything in double entry. It is just adding the cryptographic concept through the smart contract. By doing this one, we are expecting that the whole accounting will change. There will not be any reconciliations requirement. There will not be any reporting requirement will be there, as well as the intermediaries will be going out. The concept of distributed ledger technology of triple entry is basically a copyright. So when you do in new innovations, you have this privilege as well. You can actually copyright, and then later stage you can develop the model and you can sell it. Whatever the model you sell it, you get the revenues from them. So this is another reason why actually you should be thinking about. I'll just give you my brief about the topic. So I summarize the accounting in 4R. One is recording, basically recording entries. Second is reconciling. It is nothing else, is the validation of the data, because once you validate, automatically it comes in the trial balance. Third one is reporting. Reporting can be financial reporting, operational reporting. And then the fourth one is the revaluation, or we can say estimations, or creating a reserve, or passing impairment. All these things will come under the revaluation. These are the challenges we face for the accounting, which basically we try to do with the triple entry. See, I'm just giving you this example, this slide example. You see, every statement is saying that who has said, what they said, and which year is that. This is very critical for PhD, because in PhD we cannot say that somebody has said, or I heard that, or this was actually written somewhere. No. When we talk about PhD, we have to verify, we have to go exactly what we want to say and when it was said and what it has. So again, I'll just give you example, the concept I have given. So this is the introductory concept, that debit, credit, and debit. This is basically, this is going through the concept UG Ijra in 1986. This is the idea of triple entry. It is not like we are creating anything. You can see that there is a debit and credit, and then there is a peripheral of saffron color, which is basically it's a smart contract. And then the best part of this is it is a self-regulatory. You don't have to have a regulator or any laws required. It's a consensus-based regulations. So this gives you the idea that when we talk about the innovative product, we have to think about what we want to do. In my particular research, I was trying to be more emphasize that how the self-regulatory things and the smart contract change the way currently accounting is basically happening. These are the key benefits we have pointed out, because when we talk about PhD, we have to very clearly say that why we want to do this research. What are the key benefits we'll get? How the user will get the benefit, and what basically development has to be done, like governance by consensus. It is not yet in place. But this is what the research is actually giving is hatching the idea to think about to go further by the new researcher on the governance. And the one we are talking about, so you can see that when the first concept was brought by by UG Israel in 1975, but that time there was no distributed ledger technology or blockchain was there, and that's why he was not very able, successfully able to launch this whole concept. But when we talk about currently where the blockchain and the digital cryptocurrencies are already in place, this is actually very much doable, and the model is almost in the finalization stage. Once we finalize, we can actually do this one. So what is the purpose of this showing you this year growth? Because it shows that when the person who did in 1975 a PhD, that doesn't mean it has stopped there. He developed the concept, and that was further actually refined by different people. And now 2020, it was Ian Grieg has also did a lot of work, and in 2021 I did also some work, added some work based on the technology. So you can see that every layer is basically get refined. So when you think about PhD, you are not just actually talking about doing a pure new concept. Even you can actually refine the concept and you can make it on the ground, and it can be a pure application based or pure technological based. So these are I would suggest that after this session, if Pradeep can circulate to the members, maybe the members can get a better idea about how we do this research. And the whole idea of triple entry, if somebody has interest to take it to further new research, or they want to do any PhD on similar areas or even the accounting areas, I would be very happy to mentor them, to guide them, even to actually connect to the different journals. Recently, my journals, my articles is published in the American Journal and the Zenith. So these are the things we need to do during the PhD time. And at the same time, it's give you a recognition from the industry, because you do something which is required for the industry. And my advice will be to the members that don't just restrict the conventional thing. We are in Generation Z. We have to be more open. And the openness should come not just about in our studies. It should be not just about our working. It should be coming from our thought process. And thought is that what you learn, you try to pass to others. The fee or the revenue you will expect from academia can be sometimes 10 times or 20 times higher than average industry CFO salaries. So it's not actually a place where you think about that this is more about like just teaching. It's also about a consulting. It's also about the advisory on high tech. It's also about guiding and mentoring to the society. So guys, please feel free. If anyone wants me to connect, I would be happy. And thank you again for the committee to give me opportunity. Thanks, Pradeep.
Yeah, thanks. Jenny, we have one question quickly. How we can manage PhD studies while working? That is the question by one of our members. If you can little bit share some experience of yours.
Sure. See, there are two types of PhD in fact, three types of PhD. One type is full-time dedicated PhD, which is basically for the people who has something with the lab-based or you can say very much required actually full-time dedications. Second type of PhD is basically a topic-based PhD, where your topic is related to your industry or with your profile, which you can do with the part-time. Several universities allowing those ones. Third type also PhD is available, where you don't do the research, you do publications, and your publications should be on the top 20 Scopus journals. There are different classes of journals. If you publish like 10 journals, you will be automatically qualified for PhD. So you can do it while you are working, you can do it. And when you go for PhD, you have to very clear whether you're technically sound on that area or not. If you are technically sound, you can do it as a part-time. But if you are not technically sound, it is too difficult for you to learn those techniques and then apply those techniques and work also. So you can do with the part-time PhD as well. It's not a part-time. PhD is never called part-time because anyways you are doing a research on daily basis. Like while I was doing a triple entry, while as a CFO, I do a lot of work on digital transformation side for my company, as well as we are implementing blockchain for the several projects. So I had the accounting qualifications. I had the experience of digital transformation. It's more about using those tools. So you can do it very easily. And there are some private university as well as government university which allow actually professionals to do through part-time basis.
Right. Thanks. Thanks, Jaideep. Now I request our committee secretary, Mr. Ranganathan, to please propose a vote of thanks. And
Thank you, Mr. Prabdeep. And thank you, CA Jaideep Ranaji. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
First of all, sir, our hearty congrats to you for having obtained a doctorate. And as you rightly said, only 3% of our members are doctorates. So therefore, you are a very, very elite group. You very rightly said, sir, that one should plan. And now what we plan and what actually we encounter could be very different. So therefore, one should be prepared for that. And you also explained how doctorate degree could be useful to a professional, the employability, that he can stand above others, the in-depth knowledge that he gains, then it satisfies the hunger of knowledge basically. You also trace the complete journey of how to go about in obtaining doctor's degree, and it is so very nice of you that you offered to circulate your PPT, which I feel that will be very useful to our members who want to pursue the PhD degree. Thank you so very much. Very, very different sessions. In fact, all the 4 sessions are very different today, but very, very topical to the new members. Thank you so very much. Grateful to you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
many thanks, Jaideep. I request all our members to be present here tomorrow, where we have 2 sessions on technology, one on negotiation and one on careers in taxation and compliance, by speakers from different parts of the world. So please be here tomorrow. Take good care of yourselves. Good night. Bye-bye.